to talk to you guys about how to trade. Okay. Now, how to trade is a question that everybody has, because the honest answer is nobody really knows what are the best ways to trade. And so people will sometimes decide, hey, this is what I do. Okay. And some people don't use technical analysis. They overexpose themselves. They don't put a stop loss. Lots of things that they don't do right. And I have seen, and this is the truth. Okay, 95% of retail investors. Retail investors means people like us lose money on the market. Okay, 95% will lose money on the market. Nearly 80% of retail investors will lose all their money within the first 1 month or 2 months, and then they will never come back. Okay, and why this happens is simply because of a lack of knowledge and understanding, and not having a proper strategy in doing trading on the market. And I know a lot of you on the call, people listening to this, whether it's on Zoom or YouTube later, I know that most of you would have probably lost money on the market. Why? Because you don't do it right. And I know for a fact I have lost money on the market. Every time I don't do it right, I lose money. If I do it right, I will make money. And so I want to explain to you how this works. And I hope this helps you, okay? Because if you learn this, if you are willing to follow these rules, because these are my rules, okay, for me, I follow these rules. If you follow these rules too, I'm not saying 100% guarantee, but I can more or less say that you will be successful. Okay? So let's look into this. Now, the first thing, most people don't know, the first thing they got to do is establish their investment level. I got to decide how much am I going to invest. Okay. Now that can be 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, 1 crore. It depends. Okay. I have a huge portfolio, out of which I only actually for intraday I use about 2 to 4 lakhs for intraday. Rest of it is for long-term holdings and short-term holdings and things like that. But about 2 to 4 lakhs is what I do for intraday. Now I want you to know that is not meaning that everybody needs to have 2 lakhs, 4 lakhs before they intraday. You can start with 1,000 rupees also, but the basic thing is you got to manage the risk right. Okay, it is not the people think, oh, I need to have this much money before I can trade. No, the key is to manage your risk. Regardless of your capital size, you can have as less as 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees, or you can have as much as 10 crores. If you manage your risk right, everybody will make money. If you don't manage your risk, everybody will lose money. Whether you have 1,000 rupees or 10 crores, don't manage it well, you will lose money. But I will give you simple principles on how to manage it well. Okay, so first, establish your investment level. Okay, you have to decide, hey, what am I comfortable with investing in the stock market? Okay, once that is set, next is establish your risk level. Now, this is where people go wrong, because many times they will establish their investment level. Yeah, I'm going to put 1 lakh rupees into the stock market, but they have no clue on what to do with their risk level. Okay, and I will show you what is the ideal risk level. About 1 to 2% of your total investment for every trade. Let me explain this to you. Okay, for example, I want to make. I have an investment of 1 lakh. Oh, sorry, 1,000 rupees. And my risk that I'm willing to lose, money that I'm willing to lose on this 1,000 is say 10 to 20 rupees, 1 to 2%. Okay. Now, or if you have 10,000 rupees, you're willing to lose 100 to 200 rupees. When I say willing, I am willing. See, when I make a trade, I know that I'm willing to lose this much money. Okay. And I'm planning to gain that much at least also, but I'm willing to lose this much. Okay. And so if it is 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, the 1 to 2% is about this much. Okay. Now, suppose an example is, suppose I want to buy, I see that, technically Reliance is good to buy 1,400. It's trading about 1,500 now, but imagine 1,400. But I have only 10,000 rupees. Okay. And each share of Reliance is 1,400. And my risk level, I can only bear to lose 100 rupees. So how do I manage my risk? First, I'm not going to buy, 100 shares of Reliance, right? I only can invest 10,000. I wouldn't buy 100 shares, because you got to know, brokerages today offer something called a margin, a trading margin, where you can buy sometimes even up to 10 times your investment in a share. But the problem is that overexposes you. And this also is an issue in futures and options where people will sometimes buy 8 lakhs and 7 lakhs worth of shares on the futures contract when they have only about 2 or 3 lakhs. And I want you to know that that is the principle on which the stock market works. And if you manage it well, the risk, if you manage it well, you will be successful. But if you don't manage the risk well, you will lose out. So what I do, 10,000 rupees, 1,400 rupees share, I will buy 7. Okay, 9,800 rupees worth of Reliance shares. Okay, 7 Reliance shares at 1,400. And now I said that I'm willing to lose only 100 rupees, right? So my stop loss would be 700 divided by 7 is roughly 14 rupees. So I'm willing to lose 14 rupees per share, and I'm planning to gain 14 to 28 rupees per share. Okay. So if I buy Reliance at 1,400, my stop loss is 1,386. Okay. For those of you who don't understand what a stop loss is, I will probably explain it later, or you can watch my YouTube videos on that. 1,386. My target is again 1%, where I'm trying to sell Reliance at 1,440, either the entire thing or 50%, or I can again aim for the next target, 1,428. Basically, the risk is to manage this, where I am willing to risk 1% to gain a reward of 1%. Okay. This is what risk management is. First, I don't overexpose myself. If I have 10,000 rupees to invest, I will invest. So wait a minute. What if you have only 1,000 rupees? How will you invest in Reliance? The answer is you don't invest in Reliance, right? I have 1,000 rupees and Reliance is 1,400, one share. I won't buy Reliance. I'll look for another share. There's plenty of shares below 1,000 rupees, by the way. Okay. And so the risk to reward ratio should always be in your mind when you decide on a trade. Okay. If you don't do this, what happens? People will, there's a saying like this. Okay. The best traders, they quickly exit losing positions and they hold on to winning positions. But most retail traders, what they do, the mistake is they will hold on to losing positions, thinking, oh, okay, oh, it's going down badly, but I hope maybe it'll come back, and so I'll keep holding it. And the winning positions, oh, it's going up really well. I already made this, let me get out. And they get out too quickly and it keeps going up. But on the other side, when it's losing, they keep holding on to it, thinking it'll go up, and it'll never go up for a long time, and they keep holding and lose that much money. Okay, so risk to reward has to always be at the top of our mind when we decide. For me, every time I decide to enter a trade, the number one reason why I would enter, requirement for me to enter a trade is the risk. Is the risk to reward ratio good? If so, then I'll enter. If not, even if everything else looks great, I probably won't enter. Okay. And if you want to know more of these examples, you can always watch the YouTube videos that I already have up, where I explain all of this. Okay. Now, this entire risk management hinged on a good strategy. Okay. There's a lot of strategies in the market today, and so this different strategies have different strike rates. Okay, or success rates. And I want you to know some of the best indicators or strategies have only a success rate of 60%. Okay, but you can leverage that 60% with your risk to make money. I'll show you how. For example, suppose I do 100 trades. Okay, and I'm using a strategy that says I will get 60% right. So what happens when I do 100 trades using all my risk management also, I get 60 correct and 40 wrong. Okay. I want you to know, in the stock market, nobody's 100% right. Okay, we make mistakes. Trades can go wrong. We don't have 100% knowledge of what can happen. So I want you to know, definitely trades go wrong. But if we manage the trades well, say we get 60% right, 40% wrong. Now, that means I get 60 right, 40 wrong. My overall profit is 20%, right? After 100 trades. So if we do this well, say I invested 1,000 rupees. After 100 trades, I will have 1,200. Say I invested 10,000 rupees. After 100 trades, I'll have 12,000 rupees. Now, how many trades you do per day or per month or per year is up to you. But if the strategy is right, and the risk management is right, this is what will happen. Okay. And then 1 lakh can become 1,20,000. Now, I want you to know my strike rate is somewhere between 70 to 90%. And I'm trading intraday. Okay, I'm talking about intraday now. I trade at 2 lakhs per trade maximum. I don't go beyond that. There are many times I go below 2 lakhs, but usually it's I think the max I've gone is 2.5 lakhs. Okay, let's say 2.5 lakhs. I don't go above 2.5 lakhs, even though my portfolio and my investment is much larger than 2.5 lakhs. I only trade roughly anywhere between 80,000 to 2.5 lakh rupees on a single trade. I always manage with a risk of 1% max. If it hits my stop loss, it hits my stop loss. But here's the story: if I get 70 to 90% of my trades right, that means if it is 90%, that means I will get an overall profit of 80%, right? If it is 80%, that means I will get an overall profit of 60%. If my success rate is 70%, I will get an overall profit of 40%. Okay, 40% is good for me. 40% profit. Just managing my trades and my risk well and not over leveraging myself, I have enabled myself to be successful. Many people will risk their entire thing. Okay, for example, people sometimes get into options. Now, nothing wrong with options if you do it right. But when they do options, what they do is they buy an option, and if it doesn't hit that thing, they lose that entire money. Okay, that's a huge risk. So the investment you put is, say, 10,000 rupees. You're risking to lose the entire 10,000 rupees. Okay. Now, futures. What is the danger in futures? Say you have totally 1 lakh rupees with you, but because futures is highly leveraged, you can get into a position of 7-8 lakhs for 80,000 rupees. Okay. So what you have done? You have put 80,000 rupees worth or the leverage. You have 1 lakh, and you put 80,000 rupees. You bought 80,000 rupees of marginalized futures. Problem is the future, and you say your risk is 1%. Problem is when 80,000 rupees, the 1% is 800 rupees. But for 8 lakhs, the 1% is 8,000 rupees. So when you have a higher risk like that, the chances of losing more is high. Okay, and that is the danger when you overexpose or trade above your investment levels. So you got to make sure you first decide, hey, I got to establish my investment level. So for me, I'll give you the truth. I have about over 10 lakhs worth of investments, but my investment level for intraday, like I said, somewhere between 1 to 2.5 lakhs, okay, per trade. Then my risk level is 1%. I'm not even looking at 2%. I rarely look at 2%. Sometimes, most of the time, it is 1%. That's my risk. And reward I'm looking for is not the sky and the moon and the sun. I'm looking for target 1, if possible target 2, okay, which is 1% or 2%. That's fine. The key in making money is not in these things. The key is in having a good strategy and following the requirements. And so if I get 40% of my trades right, 40% of my trades right, after 100 trades, I'll be 40% up on, say, 2 lakhs. Do the numbers. That's 80,000 rupees, right? And if you were here in the first part of this session, you would see how much I made the last 1 week just by following these principles. Okay, so here's my trading plan. Okay, risk management, 1 to 2% of capital per trade. Time frame for intraday, it's a 15-minute chart. Now, if you are doing a long-term holding, you can always get in for go for a 1-day technical chart. But I follow charts. I am very particular about charts. The things that I'm looking for are trend lines, moving averages, and MACDs. Okay, what do I trade in? You can trade in anything, okay, but I trade mostly in equities. I don't trade much in futures. I also trade a bit in commodities, but not again a lot, because that's also actually futures. Basically, I do equity or cash market, which is a lot less riskier than futures. Okay, my entry requirements: trend lines, MACD, EMA. Now, for those of you who don't know what these mean, you need to go back and watch the videos on my YouTube channel. You will understand. I've given a lot of information that is available on that YouTube channel for you guys. Please subscribe and ring the bell notification. You get and you share it out with people also. It is really helpful. I always have a stop loss. The stop loss decides whether I enter a trade, and my stop loss is based on market structure, average true range, and my 1% rule. My 1% rule is I'm willing to lose 1% to gain 1%. And lastly, my target. I always look for 1% or 2%. If it crosses 1%, then I have a trailing stop loss. This is my trading plan very simply. Okay. Uh, as long as I stick to these rules, I'm going to trade well. I'm going to be successful. And if you are willing to do the same, you will also be successful. All right. So if you haven't registered yet, please go register at bit.ly/KWC plan 1, and I will help you. I will help you make money. See, I know a lot of people today have lost money in the stock market. That's one thing. A lot of people have lost their jobs because of the pandemic or lost income, a lot of issues. People are struggling financially. Here is a way to make a decent income there is risk, but not a whole lot of risk if you follow the rules. And that is what I'm offering people. Okay, hope. A lot of people don't have this hope. Now, it's been 2 months since I started this, since I started KWC. I have a lot of fundamental and technical knowledge. I studied accounts. I became a world champion in the Bloomberg aptitude test. So there's a lot, and I've been trading for 16 years. So I have a lot of experience as well as the technical background. And that's what makes me successful. Now, I know that a lot of people don't have that, but they can learn. And here is something that is very easy for you to learn. So if you are interested, please do this. You can, if you have any queries, contact me, WhatsApp me at 9495974264. And remember to follow our YouTube channel and click the bell notifications. I hope you had a great session so far. Any queries you have, I'm more than willing to help. I want to help you make money the right way. It's simple as that. I'm not trying to make money out of people. I'm trying to help people make money. And that's the simple truth.